Go, 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 go. Come on, go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go.
Yay! When it comes to my fur babies, I wanted to make sure that transitioning into RV living full-time was a good one for them. But we had a problem with these steps. Now these are solid step Lippert in our 2017 Grand Design Solitude. And a lot of you have the same problem for your pups. Whether you're weekenders, seasonal, or full-timers, and you have our RV dogs, you know how often they go up and down here. So let's show you how we fix this problem. Actually, Larry fixed the problem.
I gotta be good for something.
And this is it. Welcome back, but if you're newbies, I'm Alice.
And I'm Larry.
And we're Downsizing Makes Sense like the penny. We are 50-something empty nesters, except for 2 small little pups. We went full-time mid-February because we wanted to live life more deliberately. Yeah, come here, look, come on, get a treat, come on.
Good.
Look, Chewy,
Good girl,
Chewy,
good
look.
girl, good girl, good girl, good girl.
Oh, there's a good girl.
Come on, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. Come on, go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go.
Yay!
Okay, first of all, let's go over the treads that you get from Amazon. This is the tread that I got from Amazon. It's no longer available. It came with this pre-installed double-sided tape, which is actually good. You do not want the pre-installed double-sided tape. The ones that are available on Amazon that I'll have a link in the description are like this, that don't have any double-sided tape pre-installed. And the reason you don't want that is this tape that comes on it is terrible. It just doesn't stick as well. When I originally installed it, I used a combination of the double-sided tape that came with it and then either the Gorilla type double-sided tape or the 3M type double-sided tape. All the tape that I had stuck on myself was still sticking really good. So we're gonna peel off all the double-sided tape that I've got on these, and then we're gonna use just the Gorilla or 3M double-sided tape. First, we're gonna go over some of the materials that we're gonna need to complete this project. First, you're gonna need good double-sided tape. This is the Gorilla brand double-sided tape. 3M also makes a really good brand of double-sided tape that works, but we're mostly going to be using the Gorilla brand tape today. Now you're also going to need a measuring tape to cut the treads to the right width and length. You're going to need some gloves and some rags when cleaning the steps with acetone. Now you're going to need some acetone. So the reason I like to use acetone, it really makes sure it's a solvent that really makes sure that you're going to have a really clean surface both on the rubber treads and on the stairs themselves to make sure you're going to get a really good adherence with the double-sided tape. I'm also going to pre-clean with this crud cutter. This is really, really good cleaner. We're going to pre-clean with the crud cutter and then wash the steps off really well before we go and use the acetone. Now you're also going to need a really good sharp utility knife to cut these thick rubber mats. They're like a 1/4 inch thick, so you're going to need a sharp knife to cut through them, both in the length and the width. And you're going to need some sort of surface to cut them on. It's going to have to be pretty flat and strong. This is just an old picnic table that we keep around that we use for utility projects like this. I'm not afraid of cutting through the rubber mat onto this, but you got to think about that whenever you're cutting. Okay, now these mats come in different widths and lengths, and the stairs are all in different widths and lengths. So the mats that I have are actually 25.5 inches wide and 10 inches deep, and my stairs are 24 inches wide, so they're 24 inches side to side, exactly. And then the bottom stairs, the bottom 3 stairs are 8.5 inches deep, and the top step is actually about 13 inches deep. So we're not, the mat on the top step is not going to cover the full width of the mat. It's only going to cover the first 10 inches, but that will be fine. First of all, let's measure the width. So I got to be to 24. Go down here to 24. And we're going to mark here, just using one of these silver marker. Mark here to 24. And then we're going to make a mark down that line. Let's just use another mat here to get my mark and line it. I'm just going to line that up down there. Okay, there's my 24 inches there. So let's cut that first on that. Okay. Let's move this first and get my utility knife. And we're just going to cut down this line right here. So 24 inches. It's a little hard cutting across this spine right here. But it should cut through no problem. Let's go one more time through the material. Good. So that's the width is right, and I can go over here and I can just kind of test it. The width looks perfect. And now the width, now with the depth on this, I can only be 8.5 inches deep on the bottom 3 steps. So I need to cut that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come from the edge. I can only be to 8.5. So 8.5 actually just works out perfectly to the edge of this rib right here. So if I just cut a line along the edge of this bottom rib, I should be fine. And that gets me 8.5 inches deep right there, right at the bottom of that line. So that's where I'm gonna cut. I'm actually gonna cut kind of right in between this last line right here. So I'm just gonna cut, this can just be freehand. I don't need really a ruler for this, but. Okay, good, so that cuts that off. So I'm gonna test this piece now. And the depth works out perfect. It's just right in there, right there like that. Okay, now, so now I have the mat cut to the right, width and depth. I just continue to do that for the other mats. Keep in mind that the top mat, and here's my top mat is a little deeper, right? So we've cut that off. So the top mat, it needs to be as deep as possible because the top mat is 13 inches deep and the mats are only 10 inches. So we should be able to put that in there. So we have all of our mats cut. You get all your mats cut to the correct length. Now that we have the mats cut, I'm gonna sit them all on the steps and kind of test them to make sure they're all fitting nice. One, this is my top mat. Here's my bottom mat. Okay, so now that I've pre-fit them to make sure that they're all just the right size and stuff like that, now I can start prepping the treads and the stairs for the double-sided tape. So I'm just gonna clean the steps off really good, get off all the loose dirt, sweep them off really good. And then I'm gonna wash them really good with the crud cutter, get them really clean. Okay, now that we have the stairs washed off, we're going to prepare the mats for the double-sided tape, which is just cleaning them really well with acetone. You can see I got my acetone here, I got some rubber gloves on, and a rag. We're just gonna get these really nice and clean so that they will accept the tape. If you get them brand new from Amazon, you still need to, I think, to clean them with the acetone just to make sure any solvents, any oils that are on there are taken off by the solvent. So I'm just gonna take this, and we're just gonna wash these off. Make sure that's all good. I'm gonna clean the whole thing just to make sure that I'm not sure where the tape is gonna end up, because I'm gonna apply the tape to the, make sure it's really good. I really wanna make sure I get this leading edge really well cleaned. Okay, now I'm gonna take my tape and I'm gonna apply it just to this leading edge right here. The rest of the tape is gonna actually be applied to the steps. So this one we're gonna put in here, and it's actually just like the perfect width. I'm just gonna apply that in there like that, and then down the line. Now the reason we're applying this one to the leading edge and not to the stairs is because it's hard to line it up. This leading edge, it's really important that it's lined up really well. We're gonna just stick this all the way down here, like that, and we're just gonna cut this. Okay, I'm just gonna press that on there really good. Make sure that's really well on there. Okay, the first thing we gotta do here is I'm going to clean the surface off with the acetone. Gonna get it really good and soaked and clean, especially along these sides right here, where I'm gonna be applying the tape, up and down these sides. And really get it clean on this front edge. It's really important that this front edge right here get clean. So I'm just gonna make sure I really get that clean. I still have some residue on there from when I did the stairs before. So now I'm gonna apply the tape. So we're gonna put tape along this side, and along the back. The front part is on the tread. So we're just gonna take this, we're gonna put it here, and we're gonna cut that to length. Get that pressed down really good. This side, get right along that edge, and we're going to cut it to length again. And then we just take the edge of the blade and really rub that in. Get that really stuck on there good, because you don't want these babies coming off. Okay, good. Now I'm going to put one more piece along the back here. Okay, so now we're ready to apply the step. Okay, so now we have the tape here, here, and here, and we have the tape on the tread right here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply this to the back first. First we're gonna put it on there like this, right? And then what I'd like to do is keep it in place just like this. Hold it still. Then we're gonna peel up this side. We're gonna peel up the tape here. Peel up the side of the tape, peel off the tape, and then we're going to roll this down. And the reason we're doing it that way we make sure that it gets on there really good. And then we'll do the same thing with the back tape. Peel the back tape off, and then we're going to peel the side tape off. I like to use these little X-Acto blades to help get that off. So this one and this one are exposed. This one's already down. We hold that into place and then lay that down and let that stick really good. Okay, so the only one that hasn't been done is this one. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna lift this up. See if I get a good shot of this. We're gonna lift this up right here, and then we're gonna peel the tape here. We're gonna peel the tape. While holding it off, we're gonna peel the tape. I'm gonna hold it down. We wanna make sure this really gets down really good, so it's stuck on really, really good. We're going to press that into place. If you don't do it in that sequence, it won't go on perfectly. You want these to go on perfectly. Okay, good. So now we have tape all down, and we should be good to go. Now that thing is on there. It's not going, I couldn't peel it up if I tried. It's really on there good. And there it is, it's stuck on. Now, as I fast forward through the rest of the stair tread installation, I just want to emphasize how important it is to use the acetone on the stair treads and clean them really, really well before you apply the double stick tape, and clean the stairs, the aluminum stairs, very thoroughly with the acetone. If you don't, the double stick tape just won't stay on. With the heat and the sun and the water being outside, they will come unstuck. Now you can see the second stair from the bottom there has some duct tape on it, and the reason it does is I tried something a little different with that. I used this E6000 glue. It's kind of like shoe glue, and I tried to just glue one of the stair treads on to see how that went. It did not turn out well, so that's why I did not include it in the video, so I would stick with the double stick tape.
Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on.
Go ahead. Good girl. Yeah, so good girl. Girls, go ahead. Get inside.
Inside.
Come on.
Inside. Come on. Good girl. Okay. As you saw, the dogs were much more comfortable going up and down these steps with this material on them rather than when they were raw and with nothing on them. Another good thing about this material versus maybe some people put some carpet on here is this is easier to just brush off or hose down, because remember, these steps lift up and go inside the RV, and so that anything that's on here will now be inside the RV. So this is a much cleaner way of doing it. But there is one con. These steps, because this is the 2017 Solitude, are actually quite heavy, and this does add a little bit of weight, not a whole lot, but a little bit of weight. Larry doesn't know it, but I really want to trade these steps in for the newer ones that you could just lift up with one finger, and I think even with this material on it, they would still be pretty easy to lift.
If you have RV steps that are like a slip and slide for your puppies, I hope you found this video helpful in looking at another solution that maybe keep them safe coming in and out of the RV and make cleaning up a little bit easier than the carpeted steps. Now I'm going to leave a link in the description for the materials that I used on this project, including a link on Amazon to these rubber mats. Now if you've got something else that you did as a solution to keep the dog safe on these steps, please leave that in the comments. We all would like to hear. Now, if you like content like this, RV DIY and that kind of stuff, please consider subscribing to the link down here. We also have a link to a playlist that has projects like this in it over here. So remember,
Downsizing still makes sense.